Welcome to the 16th episode of the BB&J show. I am Outlaw Man 6, better known as Jay. That handsome devil to my side is BB better known as BB. BB, the masses, they're yearning. They have this fire building up within them to hear you say hello. Welcome, the masses.
Howdy.
There you go. How are you doing, BB?
I'm doing good, yo. I'm super excited to finally be back up on the BB&J show. I know we took a little
Indeed.
small break, but I've been excited for this for a minute, you know?
Indeed, same. And for those of you wondering, we did take a week off, but there is also a almost a lost episode, if you will. We did a live BB&J show that YouTube are being poopy heads about and giving us copyright issues. So we're still trying to get that turned around. There's some ideas we're going to play with and figure some stuff out. We're going to see if we can't get that turned around and still put up, but you will see in the YouTube sort of playlist. It'll go from 14 to 16. We are both educated in America, but we did not forget how to count. The 15th episode is still. Did you highlight it on your
Yeah,
Twitch
I
channel?
did. I did. Yeah.
So it is at twitch.tv/BBansky. If you want to watch the 15th episode with some bonus BB content after the fact, because he continued. Not only did he play Jump King, awesome, but he also watched the PC game showcase, which went over like a wet fart in church. But we'll talk about that a little bit more as the episode goes on. We're going to be talking about our reactions because episode 15 is still in purgatory, copyright hell. Going to be talking about what we saw as well as some thoughts on the Redfall Starfield showcasing, which we're really excited, or at least we spoke about. We're going to be talking about the announcement of Dragon's Dogma 2. So now our friends can put down to copium. It's actually real. Um, and we're going to be talking about the July releases. So that's the episode that we've got coming up. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you stick around. If you haven't done so already, consider liking the video, subscribing to the page, and if you're so inclined, ding our dong to be notified when we put up new content, such as new episodes, play alongs, and things of that nature. So, BB, why don't we get started with the releases that are coming up in the month of July?
Yes. So we actually had to do a little bit digging because we were looked at it, and there are a few games coming out, but nothing really too, at least for us, like super interested in, you know. Um,
Yeah.
But the first game coming up, July 19th, is probably the one that I'm most excited for, and probably the one that most people are excited for. And that's going to be Stray, the one where you can play as the little gatito.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Hmm.
Who doesn't want to try to organize a cat threesome as a cat, right? Like, who doesn't want to be out there trying to, like, do cat alley cat stuff, which I assume involves, if the alley cats in that game are like anything like the alley cats near my window, that involves having loud sex at 5 a.m. So, you know, check that out.
Maybe in the new game plus or something. I don't know. But yeah, that one is it seems pretty interesting. The thing is that I think that what I like most about the trailer is that I like trailers that kind of like, if it's a story driven game, because I'm assuming this one's gonna have a lot of like kind of, I guess, their type of like lore, right, where you go in and
Mm,
interact with people and find out what's going on, right?
yeah.
But I like that mystery of the trailer where it doesn't tell you really what you're doing. It's just
Yeah.
you're a cat. You get to choose like how you look and whatever, and this little robot translates for you, and that's literally it. You know, so
Yeah.
that was actually pretty interesting to see that they took that approach on it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like the trailer was pretty much going in blind, and that's how we're gonna go, right? We're just don't know what's going on in the game.
I believe that I believe trailers are really supposed to pull you in, and this trailer did that. I like, look, it's not necessarily my type of game, but I see the appeal.
Hmm.
I honestly do. I see how people can really, especially if you're into like playing as, like, sort of non-traditional characters.
Yeah.
You're playing as a cat, and who doesn't love cats? I mean, honestly, right? If you don't love cats, I think there's something wrong with you. Um, but there's a mystery to crack, and that's the real interesting thing that I just hope that there's the mystery there to crack is something to sink your teeth into
Yeah.
and not something, surface level. But we'll see.
True.
July
True.
19th, you get to check it out. It's on PC. What
Yeah,
platform?
pretty much all platforms is gonna be on there. So,
There you go. Check it out.
yeah. Yeah, that one we're excited for to check out and see. Another game, hopefully don't add that to the unfinished games. But anyways, we don't talk about that here. So the next one is in July 19th as well. And this is one that you're actually pretty excited for, Jay. And it's As Dusk Falls, which is
Yeah.
that kind of like comic bookish, like story driven choice making, right?
Mm-hmm.
Game that we saw where you have multiple characters and they all kind of come together in the story, and it looks like as well that you can play with your friends as well. So that's going to be interesting
Yeah.
to see what choices your friends make and then what choices you make and how that affects the story. I love those types of games, man. Like that one's gonna be, that one was on my radar when we saw the gameplay trailer and the show.
It reminds me a bit of uh the Telltale games, but like it looks
Mm,
like it's probably done better.
mm-hmm.
Um, the thing is like it doesn't look graphically like wow,
Yeah.
right? Like graphically, it doesn't look like a huge, because it's kind of like that art comic book style.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like gonna, um, it's not gonna be like wow, look at this, like Horizon Forbidden West, look at this vista, or
Mm-hmm.
look at the details. But it's got like it looks like it's got a deep story that there's a lot of mystery to.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I hope it's not like, what was that game? Man of Medan? No, not Man of Medan. Little Hope,
Yeah.
where, you know, if you haven't played Little Hope, if you've played Little Hope, I should say, what I'm talking about. The ending of Little Hope really just kind of, I didn't like it. And so the story itself was really good. It took you on a good ride, but it ended in a way that just kind of invalidated everything. So I'm hoping that this game is actually going to have a good payoff and a good mystery. And
Yeah.
it looks like it. And it looks like, because you can play with friends, that it's going to be interesting. I played through all of the Dark Pictures Anthologies game with Sugar Goody, and it's always fun when we have these types of games, and you can sort of see, you could blame a death on somebody. You
Exactly. Yeah.
decided
Yeah.
this, so they got this person killed and all of that. So, um, you know, R.I.P. Merwin, you won't be forgotten. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited for this game. It's got like a good Telltale feels.
Yeah, yeah, and like you were saying, that art style I think is really interesting in the way they took it, because it's kind of like you're reading like a book in a way, or a graphic novel, right?
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
able to like see how it all unfolds, and I'm interested in that co-op or like the multiplayer mechanic, right, where you're able to play with
Mhm.
your friends. So I want to see how far that goes in, whether it's having different choices. Does that affect? I assume it does, like the end of the story, or how
I
many
hope.
like timelines there are or whatever because of a certain
Mhm.
mistake or a certain decision. So
You
mhm,
you know, uh, David Cage is a piece of shit, but yeah, Detroit Become Human,
mhm,
how it showed the branching sort
yeah,
of. I like that, and games don't do that enough, especially games that
mhm,
have branching sort of paths and whatnot. So I would like to see some sort of representation of
mhm,
which way, like, so that way, because it adds replayability. Personally, for me, I don't know about for you or for anybody
mhm,
watching, but like, when you see, right, a tree after the fact, and you can see, oh, at this point I could have done something different. I could have, ooh, what could I have done? How would that have played
exactly,
out?
yeah,
You have the impetus, at least I do, to go back and replay it and
mhm,
try to see, okay, can I, and yeah, you might save scum a little, save right before the decision and just come back and see it.
yeah,
But at the same point, it's still, you're still adding to the playtime. So we'll see. July 19th. This is a PC release, I'm willing to bet. Or is this like an all platform release?
looks like it's a all platform release as well.
Oh, nice. Well, get it near you at a GameStop for $60 and return it the next day for 15 cents.
Yeah, definitely do that. But yeah, that one I'm excited for as well. And lastly, July 29th, it's a game that I'm still a little confused about what it is. Not necessarily because they didn't show what it is, just because I haven't seen a Digimon game in forever.
Right.
And I haven't really seen Digimon in forever, like in general, right? But this
Gotta
one's
catch 'em.
oh no. Yeah, pretty much, huh? Digimon Survive looks like a yeah, a Digimon game. Where you it this one, I will say this one looks pretty different from like the old classic ones that I played, where it's more, again, there, it's like July's like the story driven month game, because
Yeah.
or month, because it's a story driven game where they have a lot of like dialogue and like kind of that same artistic style where it's like showing you like pages or whatever, right? Like a graphic novel, if you would say, but more like
Mm,
cartoonish. um
right.
but then they do have like semi open world mechanics, but also they have like your regular tactical strategy turn based with your
Mm,
Digimon. So it's
mm.
very like, it looks like it has a lot, but I still don't know what type of game it is.
That's the thing. I get like PTSD whenever I hear like a title and then Survive attached to it because of Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
please, oh
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
hopefully this could,
It took me back. Yikes.
yeah, hopefully this can restore the survive suffix, in games. But no, this is something where like this reminds me of that one Pokemon RPG that came out recently.
Hmm.
That had a bit of a storyline to it and everything, but it was just like, I don't know. I haven't played Digimon. I haven't seen Digimon in like 22 years.
Yeah.
Last time I saw Digimon was right around when I was into Pokemon in like 2000, and it was on WPIX here in New York, I think. And so I don't even know how the mechanics would work. It's if you like it, I'm happy that a franchise is potentially getting a game
Yeah. Yeah.
that has this sort of story rich stuff and people could sink their teeth into it and all this good stuff. And I'm happy that this franchise and then more franchises are getting this.
Yeah. Correct.
But I just don't know what to make of it. It's kind of like, also, for whatever reason, it's like it's a summer release, so I don't know how, like, summer releases are not like, you don't typically get blockbuster games in the summer.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So
It's usually like either it's the beginning of the year and then towards the
yeah.
end, like holiday season. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe, I mean, Saints Row releases typically in August, and that's,
Mm-hmm.
they're a pretty good game. So we'll see. I think this will probably end up being more of a niche kind of thing, but you
Yeah.
know what?
True.
I think if it's your kind of game, I think you'll enjoy it,
Mm.
from all intents and purposes from what I'm seeing.
Yeah. So yeah, Digimon Survive July 29th. And
Catch them all.
yeah, definitely do that. While playing Pokemon.
Well, that there's gonna be people out there that are playing
um
Pokemon Go or something, or whatever it is that, like, and they're like doing like a little Pokemon raid on their phone, and then they put it down while it's raiding to play Digimon, and you
yeah.
know get all over mon stimulated.
Overmon stimulated. Oh my god.
Uh,
But yeah, those are the games that we are currently looking at, or keep an eye on and excited for, interested in. There was another list of games, but honestly, they didn't really look too. I mean, at least for me, exciting. So that's kind of what stood out. And like Jay said, usually around this time is not when like the big games come out. So that's gonna be later on, which I after watching that showcase, we saw that there's some potential for a little, a few titles for
yeah,
this year. But speaking of new releases, Jay, Xbox
brand new.
Bethesda showcase. First,
Can I
yeah, go
can I just get something out of the way? Because we beat the crap out of Halo here a lot.
ahead.
The only thing at this Xbox Bethesda showcase, the most exciting Halo content I've seen, isn't even in Halo.
Yeah.
and that was the Pelican coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator, which I hear is kind of somewhat underwhelming, but
Hmm.
that is the most excited for Halo content I've been in the last 6 months. But continue. That's I just wanted to beat Halo up a little bit before we continue. Go on.
No, you're that's very true. I think everyone that we were watching with, including us, got so hyped when we saw Microsoft Simulator, like the DLC they're adding or the free updates, right? Yeah, that was actually really cool that they implemented that. And you're right. There's a few people who are saying like, that it's kind of like underwhelming and everything, but I think just being able to like be in the Pelican, seeing it first,
Yeah,
uh like first person view and everything, I think that's pretty cool.
I always wanted to fly the Pelican. Like,
Mhm.
because like I have a thing for like non-traditional vehicles and stuff in games, and
Mhm.
they gave it a warthog, it had its purpose and all of that stuff, but I just always was like, I just want to fly the freaking Pelican, because like you saw it in almost every mission, and I
Yeah,
just kind
pretty
of wanted
much.
to, yeah, I just kind of wanted to fly it and all of that, and obviously 2001 Halo Combat Evolved graphics versus Flight Sim Now
Oh
graphics is
yeah.
something completely different, and then you get to sit in the cockpit and see, again, it's all because there's no like actual pelicans out there, but
Mhm.
it's kind of cool. It's a cool little Easter egg for a, Jesus Christ, 14-year-old me, no, 13-year-old me. I had to do math and think about how old I was in 2001.
uh
Anyway, let's move on before I grow some more grays. What were you
No,
gonna ask?
but yeah, I was saying, yeah, that's probably the most exciting thing to come from the showcase.
Mm,
Okay, I guess what we could do is we'll talk a little bit about, our what we thought about the whole thing and then give it a rating out of 10, right?
yeah.
Of what we thought. And I'll try to not include the PC game show because ooh, that was rough. But yeah.
Glad I didn't stay for that one.
Oh man, that was whew, that was a tough one. But what are your overall impressions on the Bethesda game show?
Well, okay, first of all, it's Bethesda, so my ceiling is like, no. But in all seriousness, it's just, I don't know if it's me as a person,
Mhm,
like as you get older, you change and your tastes change, and or if it's just gaming now, nothing really nothing blew my skirt up. Nothing gave me, nothing excited me. Nothing gave me a
mhm,
chub. Like nothing. Like, I watched it, the Pelican in the flight simulator was like, "Oh, shit," that was the closest I got to being really excited.
mhm,
They started right on time. The show ran, I will say the show itself was clean. They did 10 out of 10 for
mhm.
production.
Yeah.
Like, I give the production a 10 across the board. The show ran smoothly. I thought because we were gonna go on. They started at 1 Eastern. We were gonna go on at 1. We were like 5 minutes late, and I think we even missed some of the Redfield stuff because they
Mhm.
went on the dot, and
Yeah,
they didn't.
they did not BS.
I thought there was gonna be some corporate stooge that was just gonna
Mhm.
fluff for like 10 minutes at the start that gave us time to intro. No. So the show itself was very smooth. The presenters all were smooth, and they came on and they talked, and they didn't overstay their welcome.
Yes.
So production, the team that put it together, that formatted and everything, they deserve raises 10 out of 10.
Mhm.
Redfield and Starfield we're going to talk about, you know, in depth later, and so I'll save my what I think for that. But overall, the show was good. It was a good show. It lasted 90 minutes. It didn't go too long. There was nothing really that exciting. There was some memeable games. Like there was that one game where the guns talked and shit, and
Mhm.
like it's like this. You play this when you're high, and you're gonna be fucking zooming.
As the
Um,
title says, High on Life or
exactly, high on life. But it was cool. It was a fun show. It was fun to do. Nothing really excited me. There's some interesting things coming out, but nothing that I saw made me say that's got my $60.
Yeah. True.
So overall, the overall show, including games and productions and everything, I give it a solid 7.5 out of
7.5.
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with most of that. Pretty much the 10 out of 10 with the whole setup of everything. Yeah. Like compared to all the other game shows that we've seen, it's literally was straight to the point, no BS. There's probably maybe less than 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes of like someone actually talking and explaining something, but other than that, it was just pure gameplay, trailer after trailer, new announcements, things that they're working on. It was awesome. That production was really good. Um, True, there was definitely some games where I'm just kind of like, not really
Yeah.
my type. But there's
Mm-hmm.
something that someone had said in the when we were watching it, and that was Fletman, and he was saying that he liked that they actually had targeted different types of audiences. They had that game show had something for pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
They had like those turn-based games, they had a card game, they had, the FPS shooter games, they had the tactical games. Like it was loaded with a
Yeah.
bunch of games. Now, me personally, that I like most of them, not really. There's a few that
Yeah.
stood out, for me, where I was like, oh, I'll try that. I'll definitely look into it. And I have Game Pass, so it was really nice and refreshing to see that most of these games are coming out on Game Pass. So
Yeah.
that's something that I was like, oh
Yeah.
snap! Xbox is going like full. I mean, they have been going full on Game Pass, right? But this showcase pretty much showed like, no, like, look, this is what we have, and this is what we're gonna have. I even like that they had a chart, pretty much like a chart in the end where it showed you what's coming to Game Pass 2022 and what's coming to Game
Mm-hmm.
Pass 2023. And I was
Yeah.
like, it was a bunch of stuff. So overall, yeah, I would say, yeah, like, I mean, to me, yeah, like 7.5, 8 for the whole thing.
Yeah.
It got its points because, straight to the point. Everything was pretty clear. We got what we wanted, which was give us games or let us see gameplay, and we got both of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Unlike other game shows that I won't really talk about, PC's game show. Excuse me. Um,
And I will say that I really liked that everything that was shown was gonna be within the year, the
yeah,
calendar year.
yeah.
So that is really because I sometimes you get these these trade shows, right? These trailer shows is what I call them,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like you see this great shit and it's just like, meh, whenever. And then you Google the game or like a few months later, it's like can't. Like, well, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I got all excited for not,
That's
like
true.
I will say, I want to say you mentioned games that are not really your type, and
Mm-hmm.
I agree. There was a lot of games there. Matter of fact, I would say there's more games that I saw that weren't my type
Mm-hmm.
that were. And if again, if we end up putting up the episode 15, you guys can see
Mm-hmm.
us and check our opinions, check the record. But
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I talk about a few specific games that I can remember off the top of
Mm-hmm.
my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
The few there was so talk about a game that I would say is more my type, I guess, that I'm at least interested in, and that is the one that's got Arthur Morgan's voice actor in it. Forget what it's
Oh
called.
yes. I can look it up real quick. Oh
Um,
yeah, 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 yeah. That one definitely stood out to me too.
yeah,
Let's see if I know.
major alien isolation vibes. I liked it. The trailer looked kind of cool, and all of that stuff. Um, the game that to me was cooler when I was wrong about what it was, game with the clones. When
Oh
I saw
yeah, 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 yeah.
the trailer opened up, and it's like you see this guy, and he's walking into this room, and all these people are standing over a body, and like I think they show first that it's like they see that he can see clearly it's his body, and he's like
Mm-hmm.
freaking out. I'm thinking, oh shit, he's a ghost, and I'm like, cool, this is like I think cool ghost story, right? Like you play as a ghost and you're trying to
Yeah,
figure out.
that's what I thought too. I had that impression when I saw it at first. I was like, okay, like you're like they can't see him because it looked like it, right? Like it looked like
Yeah.
he was like floating around, kind of like around the people.
And then they all turn to him and they're all him. It's like a clone thing, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like that just it just took it out. Like I just got so like again, they could do something with it. They can make
Yeah.
it, they can make it special and turn it to the point where there's a cost for cloning
Mm-hmm.
or yourself or there's some sort. But it's just like oh, it just felt like a
Yeah.
letdown.
I will tell you
Those-
real quick on that one.
yeah,
The one thing that was pretty, besides that, like that was pretty disappointing. But like the other thing that was disappointing for that was that there was no like they only talked about what this game's gonna be. They didn't
yeah,
tell us no gameplay. Like they didn't show no gameplay. They didn't really tell us how it worked. They just said this is what it will be. And I was just kind of like, okay, I still don't understand what this game is, like.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, hopefully they kind of show us some more stuff later on. But
yeah.
that one was kind of like a little bit kind of worried because I was like, I don't know. Like it looked cool at first, but now I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, like I thought it was gonna be a cool ghost story, but no.
Hmm.
But I will say that I agree with what Fletman said that there's such a wide variety. Like it doesn't matter what genre you're into, there's at
Hmm.
least a game in that genre coming out. Right? Like there's FPS, there's all of these things, and you may not like said genre or said game, but
Hmm.
at least you have something in that genre. And I'm interested to see things developed. Like I said, the one that I'm most keeping an eye on is the one with Arthur Morgan's voice
Yes,
actor,
I looked up the name Fort Solace.
Fort
Yeah.
Solace. There we
Hmm.
go. Yeah, Fort Solace is the one I'm keeping the biggest eye on.
Hmm.
That one was a surprise to me. I didn't even know the thing was, it even existed. It looked like
Yeah.
some sort of horror space thing.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
that kind of goes back to like the Stray trailer where it's like they showed you a little bit about like the gameplay and everything, but they don't tell you anything what's going on, what's
mhm,
happening. I love that type of
mhm.
stuff because it gets you, it makes you want to solve the mystery, right? Like what's going on,
Yeah,
what it is. So, and I'm
yeah.
excited to see Arthur Morgan's character. Oh, not his character, but like the voice actor.
The voice actor,
I
yeah.
forget his name. I think it's Roger Clark. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Roger
being
Clark, yeah.
back on a new game. So it's
Yeah.
exciting to see that.
So, yeah, but overall, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10, only because if I'm counting everything, as a whole complete thing
Hmm.
where it's production values and the game shown and all that stuff, then yeah, it's a 7.5.
Yeah,
Production overall a 10. The
yeah, yeah.
production was
Production.
like people out there take a note on how to run these kinds of shows
Mm-hmm.
because that's how you do
PC
it.
game show. Excuse me. Oh man, I got like allergic to something here. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Don't don't be don't be a little shit, pretty
It's
much,
because sometimes I don't know. It's just like, okay, look, I wasn't gonna say it, but like, look, it's just don't be cringe. If you're gonna do something like that, just get to the point where you're trying to say and say, look, this is the game that we've been working on. I'm excited to show you. Let's jump in. Don't
Yeah.
try to make something funny that's like force it. Like just don't force it. And that's what the PC game show was all about. It was like these forced jokes where it's like let's try to be funny and different. And it's like look, yo, like as gamers, like I get it, but
Yeah.
like we just want to see what do you have. Like let's just show us.
So yeah, okay. So to give folks context, we did the BB&J show from 1 to like 2:30 Eastern, the live episode, and we ended up. I had uh I had plans that I had to take care of after the
Hmm.
stream, so I left, do what I had to do. I was lurking, so I kept an eye every once in a while, pop in and look at what was going on and see what people were saying, and pretty much everybody was shitting on the show.
Yeah.
Um, but um, I didn't stay for it, so I didn't get a chance see what was going on. So as you who saw both, the PC game show and the Bethesda thing, what what would you give the PC game show, like, overall rating? Did anything stand out to you? Good or bad? Anything stand
Yeah.
out really good as far as games say to the production for the production values or
Oh, sorry.
production the way the show was produced, I should say.
Can you go from the top where what stood out? You cut off. Like it cut off completely.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. Okay. I
You,
think you're good now. All right, just go
cool.
from the what did you say? Sorry. You said did anything stand out to you? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You ready?
Mhm.
So, did anything stand out to you positively or negatively in terms of game? And what did you feel the way the show was produced overall? Because like we just said about how the Bethesda show was a smooth production.
Yes.
What stood out to you overall as far as games, and what you say about the production overall of the show?
For the PC game show, honestly, I got a little excited because it's PC. I mean, I'm mostly a PC gamer, right? There was I will say there was probably like minimum 3 ish games maybe that not like super excited. Honestly, not, I didn't get super sad for anything. It
Mm,
was pretty much like the Bethesda show, right? The Xbox show. Nothing got me like, oh my god, I need to play that right now, right?
yeah,
But there was like 2 or 3 games that actually were like, oh, it would be cool to check them out, to see how they are, or at least see like someone play it, right?
yeah.
Nothing where I wanted to like purchase like day one or whatever. But I will say that the show overall, it just felt forced. Like it was actually pretty long. I think it was longer
Oh yeah.
than it was like 2.5 hours, right? Or 2 hours, somewhere around there.
Put it this way: my plans ended,
Yeah,
and the show was still going on.
yeah, yeah.
So like
Yeah,
I came back because like I finished what I was doing, and I came into the stream, and it was still like somebody randomly walking.
oh yeah, and that's the thing where I was telling you that like they tried to implement like the whole like, oh, let's get the devs on stage and talk about your game and all this stuff, but like the questions that were being asked were just very like we don't really want to know about that, like it'd
Yeah,
be cool to know about behind the scenes, like what inspired you to do this, right? But like it was
yeah.
just very like cringy like jokes towards them, and then overall the whole thing was like super cringe. Like there is a point where that someone made a clip of me like almost dying of cringe, um like but but yeah, like I will say if you had to rate them both of them, the Xbox Bethesda game show was superior because it just, like we said, it was straight to the point. We saw the gameplay we wanted, we saw the game announcements,
Hmm.
I think there was only like 1 or 2 segments of someone actually coming out to explain something, but it wasn't even like a minute or so, right? Like it was like
Yeah,
really quickly. And the PC game show was very like, let's talk about our game and joke around at the same time and then just make this show even longer, it felt like one of those, like, when you're trying to watch something on Netflix and you just don't know what
hmm,
to watch and you click on the
yeah,
episode, right? And you're like, okay, this looks interesting, and then you turn it off 5 minutes later because you're like, no,
yeah,
this is garbage. That's
yeah.
pretty much what it
Yes.
was, except I couldn't do that and I watched the whole 2 hours of it.
No, the thing about these kinds of trade shows that kind of kill me is like I love game developers, right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
give them all the
Yeah.
credit in the world. Like they created the worlds I escape into.
Mm-hmm.
God bless them. But not all of them are comfortable or charismatic enough to be on
Mm-hmm.
camera. Like
Yeah.
the thing that the Xbox Bethesda show did well enough is that even when because there was a point in which they had someone with a heavy accent,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a little that was the only time I kind of strained a little bit because I couldn't quite understand what was being said.
Mm-hmm.
But the way she said it, she spoke fluidly, she
Exactly.
spoke
Exactly.
well, and it was like, okay, I'm feeling the rhythm of a lot of times you get with these trade shows, these trailer shows or whatever you want
Mm-hmm.
to call them, they want to interview the devs, fine, but I lose everything a dev says when they're standing there like a scared fourth grader.
Yeah.
And like, look,
Yeah.
I understand they're nervous. They're not, maybe they're not,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to be on camera and they have to be.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not saying it's their fault per se. I'm just saying it's hard to watch
Mm-hmm.
someone kind of just be like, well, kind of, maybe we have this cool thing in our game, kind of, sort of.
Yeah,
It's just like,
yeah,
oh God, please save me.
yeah.
So like, I think one thing they need to do better is pick who's on camera. And look,
Yeah, true.
if the person is not someone who either doesn't want to be on camera, has no experience on camera,
Mm-hmm.
or every experience they have on camera, they look like, a fifth grader that's kind of shit to bed, then don't put them on camera. Like, have a splashy text screen, or,
Yeah,
have
true.
one of the hosts talk about it, or something, because it hurts to watch.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, and that goes back to like something that stood out. There was one game which I was already to the point where I was like, when is this game show gonna be over? So I don't remember the name of the game, but it was actually very interactive in the way that they showed their trailer off. It was like supposed
Mm,
to be this like indie game, and the person that was narrating was gonna show the game, and then they were trying to find the file to the game to show us, and they're like, "Oh, I found the trailer for it," and they click on it, and then the trailer's like super small, you can't even see it. It was pretty funny. They were like trolling the audience,
yeah,
but it was an interactive way to show your game off. Like, that is a creative way. And then at the end, they never even showed the game. It was like, oh well, it's gonna come out this, more info, blah blah blah. So I was like,
yeah,
what? I didn't even get to see, but I actually got excited for it because I was like, I want to see what the game's about. Like, that type of stuff is pretty different and unique, right? And so like,
yeah,
if you can come up with something like that, that's even better. Like, to to show or to market your game, right?
yeah,
Instead of having like the devs come out, and like you said, everyone, the devs are, awesome. They create all these games, these worlds, and but like, I mean, some people just don't want to be on camera, or don't know how to be on camera, or it's like, if they could at least get some help with that, like that would go, like a spokesperson or maybe, or something
yeah,
like that, right? That will go out there.
yeah.
Or you could just be like Xbox and just show us the game. That's it. You know?
Well, imagine that. Imagine showing us the game and
Yeah.
there to show off the game.
Exactly.
There was nothing in the game show that looked, wow, or that I even heard as I was reading through it. And I understand it's a game show, but it's a PC game show, I should say.
Hmm.
But I remember at one point they went on for what felt like 15 minutes fluffing a PC.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
yeah. Yeah,
like
the whole building thing and like the new, like, I guess, like parts or whatever. It was just like, even we even had the funniest part about that was that we even have someone in the community who like builds PC, and they're like, I build PCs and I don't even want to watch this. I was like, dang. Like, it's just so funny, like, to see that. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, I get it, PC game show, but like, what everyone's there for. Like, there's different ways you could have like if you're really advertising, right? There's different ways you can advertise it, and it was just very like it was just a little too much. But overall, man, yeah, definitely that PC game show was not something. It honestly doesn't even make me look forward to it next year. Like, I
oh
almost
god.
like I love to see new games, but just because of that experience alone, I'm like, ooh, I might just skip next year because I don't. I played Jump King and waited. You know what I'm talking about? I played Jump King and waited for that PC show so I can be relaxed and see new games, and all I got was a cringe fest. Ugh.
I'm the only reason why I'm looking forward to next year is the memes. Like,
Oh
how
yeah.
can we compare the memes one to the other?
True. But that leaves us to probably what most people want to talk about right here, and
Mhm.
it is pretty much Bethesda's, because I think they're both Bethesda, right? Those two games.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Their
believe so, yeah.
biggest games for the start of next year. That's pretty much what they're aiming for. Their biggest games, we'll start off with the one that we missed in the beginning because they were like on the dot. Like it was literally like trailer, boom, you know.
Weren't fucking around.
Yeah, they really weren't. So and that is Redfall. That game that I remember when it was announced, it was like a CGI trailer or like a story trailer, right? And I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Arcane Studios. I know a lot of people love Arcane because of the Dishonored series.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, that's gonna be cool. A new co-op open world game, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'll start it off with very underwhelming. I don't know. Did not really let me like I did not feel anything where I was like, oh dang, yo, like
Yeah.
I need to play this. It's like I don't know. Maybe it was the parts they showed, because you know there's sometimes games where you have to play it to experience it, right? But
Yeah.
to be honest with you, the best thing I can describe this game is like that Back for Blood. It literally looked like Back for Blood, but with vampires. Like that's
Yep.
all. Like that's what I saw. And if we're being honest, Back for Blood, I mean, it can be fun for like 30 minutes, and then that's it. You know.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's how I felt about Redfall or Redfield, however whatever the game is called.
Back for Red.
I did not I honestly wasn't really too hyped for it. And you know, I mean, it looked okay. It just looked okay. Like it didn't even seem like anything, you know, that we haven't really seen, honestly. So that's how I feel.
Yeah. To me, so how to there was because I want to because I kind of want to shit on it completely,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah, yeah.
I played the Back for Blood demo with you and
Yeah.
a few others. Um, fucking
Let
hell.
it out, Jay. Let it out.
So you streamed, so I was able to open up a tab and I watched it, and I was like, I didn't see the 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 thing you saw, like the story trailer.
Hmm.
Um, I I didn't get to see it, so I had no expectations, no thoughts, no nothing, right? Like I was
Hmm.
just like going into it blind, and I'm watching it, and I'm like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
what is this? Yeah, come get your boy. Come get your boy. Like it was so just like I'm like I played this already. This is Back for Blood, and then they tried to like do some great googly moogly as Jim Quinn
Hmm.
would say story thing, and it's like
Yeah.
just make this stop. Just please just make this stop. It's just it's Back for Blood.
Hmm.
Nothing about the mechanics look interesting. Nothing about the setting look interesting. Nothing
Hmm.
about the story looks interesting. I mean, it's just this is a. I hope. I'm wrong.
Yeah. Same.
I hope
Same.
I'm underselling it, but no, it's yikes forever. This game. Uh,
And
eh.
the thing too is like they kind of showed a lot because it was like 5 minutes or so of like
Yeah,
gameplay, right?
that was a chunk of gameplay.
Yeah, and but there was never any time because the thing is like it's Back for Blood, but with like vampires, and also you have powers or something like the skills or something, right? It just didn't. I didn't
Yeah,
understand it really too much, but
yeah,
um, nothing really seemed like over the top for me, or at least it just looked very generic to me, like a, just a
yes,
F.
that's the perfect word for it. Yeah.
It's just a FPS, you know, game where I guess you have skills and you just kill the enemies, and I don't know. Maybe there's story to it that they haven't told us yet, you know, or like you said, it's. I hope it does well. I hope it
Same.
actually is good because it's a, you know, I'm always down for co-op shooter games or co-op
Yeah,
in general, right? So
yeah,
maybe if you're playing with your friends and everything, it's good. But I really didn't feel
yeah.
anything with it.
No, and that's a running theme because Starfield, which was the other. So that's the thing. The Redfall and Starfield were the two like so they bookended the show. I noticed talking about it. They bookended the show.
Yeah,
It was like Redfield started and Starfield ended it.
yeah.
Neither one was all of that exciting. Like I got so. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got really disappointed watching the Starfield trailer because I was hoping for so much more. and it just looked like Fallout gameplay. Like the gameplay looked ass. The the story again, it's more Bethesda talk at you instead of
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not. None of it wowed me. The part that kind of like, ooh, cool, is the shipbuilding and crew.
Yeah.
But if they're gonna be empty bodies that's
Mm-hmm.
just there to fill a space, and it's like it's not like a Mass Effect where you can go and talk to somebody and do a loyalty
Yeah.
mission and
Yeah.
build a relationship with, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily romance, but build a friendship
Yeah. A
with them.
friendship.
You
Exactly.
know, like Garrus is one of my favorite characters, and
Mm-hmm.
that bromance with Garrus is like one of the coolest things. It's just like if it's not gonna have any of that, it's useless.
Exactly.
And somebody once said it's like 1,000 planets, guaranteeing 995 of them are going to be, the samey kind of planets. And you know what? I can't
Mm-hmm.
sit here and be too high on that sort of thing because Mass Effect does that, with the Uncharted worlds.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not 1,000 of them. One and two. There's a limit, like there's a story purpose to a lot of them, like
Okay.
the side story. You're not just going there and plopping around. I like the space flying and the combat looks kind of very Star Citizen-y. That
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Bethesda, so works is in quotation marks. But it just, I was so disappointed. And I shouldn't have been because it's Bethesda, and it's what I said when we were talking about it. I don't want to more Bethesda open, go anywhere you want, talk at you bullshit, and that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And I'm not excited for any of them. Redfield is way below Starfield. Like
Yeah.
Starfield, I can at least see one thing that I kind of want to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't see anything in Redfield I want to do, so
Yeah.
Starfield just let me down.
Oh, and I agree with you. I will say I'm a little bit more, and this is just my like optimistic like gamer side of me, right?
Mm,
But I'm a little bit more on like the positive side, just because like for the first half of that trailer, I'm definitely with you for
yeah,
sure. And it
yeah.
was literally like that gunplay and the gameplay mechanics that it looked pretty bland.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely got the Fallout vibes from it. Didn't seem like the gun didn't seem powerful. Whatever he was using,
Yeah,
it was kind of cool when he had like the jetpack. But other than that, like the way they were shooting and interacting, I would
yeah,
say the AI didn't even look interesting either. Like they looked like they were just kind of like, oh, and then they would go, okay, I'm getting shot at, so I'm gonna go behind this box and
yeah,
wait for them to jump over the box and still get shot. Like like it didn't
yeah.
feel, and it could be because it's
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And
Because
but
as I said, they're using the same sort of.
yeah,
They upgraded the Skyrim engine.
yeah,
Call it. It's the same engine that you get in like Skyrim and Fallout. So it's
hmm,
kind of like the AI and all this stuff. It's just the same thing.
yeah.
It's the same thing, lad.
But no, yeah, that was the first half of that trailer. I was just like, whatever. Then they went into the part that I'm always interested in most games, and it's always
Mm,
comes down to the customization.
yeah,
I'm a big like I freaking love customizing in games, right?
yeah,
And we all know obviously like most of the Bethesda games you can create your character and everything, but it has to be more than that, right?
yeah,
When they were explaining a little bit about like you get to choose your background, I love that. So you have a background story, right? You get to choose like skills or like I guess quirks they called it, where like oh you're like a noble person, so it'll create like a new I guess dialogue for you, right?
yeah,
If you like have the specific skill. So I would like to see more of that in the coming months when they like show more of the game. um and then the big thing for me was like the spaceship customization, where you can actually like dismantle it and put whatever you want, make it big or small, whatever, right?
yeah,
um
yeah,
but I definitely agree with you that it looks interesting and it looks awesome, right, to have that like
yeah,
feature. But if it's gonna be nothing but like no one's talking to you, you can't even interact with the crew, what is the purpose of that? Like to me
yeah,
that's just like we'll throw that in there for like like a filler, like oh we'll just throw it in there. But if
yeah.
there's no meaning behind it, like there's no purpose to have that in there. I feel like it's just kind of like just thrown in feature. So that I'm not,
Exactly.
that I don't, I'm a little bit like, I like the idea, but I'm just still wondering how it's gonna work, right? Because
Yeah.
if you're telling me, oh, I can make my own ship and then just fill the crew, but that's it, I can't even
Yeah.
interact with them, they don't have jobs or whatever, right? Like, and the big part, like you said, is the relationship part. You know, being able to be friends with your crewmates, like, you know, have that kind, like, that type of interaction. I would love to see that,
Mm-hmm.
if they have that. And then I did kind of lose myself a little bit whenever they actually had flying, because there was a lot of like speculation that they weren't gonna have any flying and it was just gonna be like time or like fast travel or whatever, right? So I
Yeah.
like that they have, um definitely have the space combat. It definitely reminded me of Star Citizen. That works.
Yeah. Works.
Yeah, that works. It just works, you know. As Todd would say.
16 times the space flight.
Exactly, exactly. And then when they ended it, so okay, it's like I went snoozefield when you said that, right? I remember you
Mm,
had said that. Snoozefield for the first half, then the second half starts. Oh, snap. Okay, cool. Customizing your ship, blah, blah, blah. And then Snoozefield at the end, because the whole, like, we have 1,000 planets.
yeah.
Lie
Yeah.
to me, Tom. I mean,
Yeah.
Todd. Lie to me, Todd. Keep telling me the
Tell me
lies.
the-
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that part is just, there's no, unless they find somehow, but it's Bethesda, so we can't have any high hopes. There's just no way that 1,000 planets are just not gonna be generic and like copy paste. You know, it's gonna
And
be like, it's just pretty much gonna be like that.
I'll be flexible with 1,000 planets. I can to be, barren sort of mining only worlds and all of that.
Hmm.
But you can see if we end up putting episode 15, you can see when they go into the space flight and everything. I did get excited because I
Hmm.
want to see that.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
we'll see, because like the whole crew thing, like is this just going to be a high fidelity graphics deep space battle sim as far as the crew is concerned? Like
Oh
they're just
gosh.
robots that just walk
It can't
around,
be.
and
It can't be that bad. Please.
I don't think it
It
can be,
can't
but
be that bad. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna I'm never saying anything can't be that
That's
bad ever,
true. That's true.
you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? It's we'll see, we'll know for sure by June of 2023
Hmm.
if the schedule that they adhered to was correct.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know that I'll get it day one. I plan on getting it at some point. Redfield, that might be like a maybe we'll bite the bullet together and community game it or
Yeah,
something.
like a
We'll
community
see.
game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But solo definitely not.
No.
But we'll have to see. I'm gonna be optimistic, benefit of the doubt, and we'll just wait and see. But so far, nothing gave me a hard on so far. But we'll see.
You know
But
what did cause that though, Jay? You know what did cause that for some people?
hmm,
There's one thing that did. You remember what happened?
hmm,
You remember what happened this week? Was it this week or last week?
last Thursday.
Last Thursday? Oof.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people who got a little too excited
yeah.
for the
Copium,
announcement. Yep.
the
Mm-hmm.
copium is one person. Copium, if they're if it turns out to be true, and you know what, I want to say, in front of King and Country, Fletman 795. Because they announced Dragon's Dogma 2.
Oh,
So
your mic keeps cutting off there at the
oh
end when you said Flatman. It
oh
like cuts
okay.
off a lot. Yeah, I don't know why.
I think I'm having probably internet shit going on. But yeah, I'm gonna, if we can sort of like keep it semi brief because I do have something that I have to tend to in a little bit. So
Okay, yeah, yeah. We'll finish it
uh,
off. Just
yeah,
start with what you said to Flatman.
yeah, I'm just gonna. All right,
And
ready?
go. Mm-hmm.
I will say before King and Country, Fletman 795, you were correct. It's not copium because it came true. They announced Dragon's Dogma 2
Ew.
on the 10th anniversary special that they had. I'm playing through Dragon's Dogma 1 right now on my Twitch stream.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been when this video releases yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
BB, I know you're playing through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. We'll see. You know,
Yeah.
I'm having more fun with Dragon's Dogma 1 than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that we're getting a sequel because I want to see what they can do because there's a unique element to Dragon's Dogma.
Exactly.
And I
Yeah.
want to see what they can do with modern tech.
Mm-hmm.
And so nothing, absolutely nothing other than the logo is known right now about it. So we don't know release dates, we don't know story, we don't know anything, but I'm excited for it, personally speaking.
Yeah, same. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. I want to see if they're gonna add any like new mechanics or whatever. I'm sure they will. I think the best or the thing I'm most excited for is like that they're doing it on the RE engine. So that's gonna be because
Mm,
we saw a I think RE engine started at Resident Evil 7, I believe, is
yeah.
when they started it, and it looks good. That engine looks really really good. I mean, the remakes are on RE engine as well, and they look amazing. So it's gonna be awesome to finally get to have Dragon's Dogma with an updated engine. And so I'm excited. Maybe not as excited as Fletman, but definitely looking forward to it.
I don't think anybody's excited as Fletman.
That's true, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was definitely a cool experience to see. Honestly, I've never seen something like that before, where they're just
Mm.
like, let's go on this 10-year anniversary about the whole thing. Woo, yeah, Dragon's Dogma, and then at the end, T-shirt reveal. Like what?
Yeah, they nearly blue balled everybody.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
really
it's
did.
like they were wrapping it all up,
I'm not
and
gonna
then
lie,
they were like,
yeah. I know we were
yeah,
talking about it. We were like, "Oh my gosh, they really didn't announce nothing," and then they
yeah,
just hit him with the T-shirt
yeah,
reveal. That was
yeah.
awesome.
So it was. But you know what else was awesome, BB?
Mm, mm.
Getting to do this with you. There's no T-shirt reveal here, although I am wearing a new shirt.
Looks
Just got
nice. I
nice.
like it.
Thank you, thank you. I dress up for you, you know. Um, but getting to do this show, and I'm glad we were able to do it again. Thank you for being here, and I will let you say those famous words that you always say when we get to this part of the show. Take it away, my kind sir.
No, same Jay. I'm glad we're back on the BB&J show. It's always a great experience. Always nice to do this with you. Wouldn't do it with anyone else.
Right back
But
at you.
I will have to say, if you're still watching this, you are truly the MVP. Okay, thank you so much for sticking around. And watching us semi rant today. Not too much ranting. We try to keep
No,
it. Save it for
positive.
Halo. Excuse me, or anything else that deserves a rant. But yeah, thank you so much for watching our show. It's always
Thank you.
always a good time.
Yeah, thank you. As BB says, if you're still here, you're the MVP. We appreciate you so very much. We'll try to be back again next week. Sometimes, look, life happens. We're in
Yeah.
two different time zones. We're in two different country. We both have our lives. We're both, busy. We're streamers, content creators, all that other stuff. We do have a priority on this show, but sometimes life happens. Do it every week. But we hope to be back next week. Stay tuned to the Twitter that's down below.
Mm-hmm.
Follow BB, follow me on Twitch, and email the show if you have any concerns, questions, or if you just want to tell me how wonderful I am. If you want to tell me how bad I am, email a different show. BB, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming along this ride. I hope to see you soon, and I had a fun. If you haven't liked the video, given the page a subscription, consider doing so. Consider leaving a comment down below. And if you feel so inclined, how about you ding our dong? Notified when we post new content such as videos, plays, throughs, and just general crap. Who knows what we got planned? I mean, look at us. We're crazy. We could be planning all types of shit. You want
Yeah.
to find out, don't you? Thank you for watching, BB. I'll catch you next time.
Yo.